Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to game number 1 of our WPC Ace coverage tonight. We've got HGT versus LGD, and apologies to the VOD viewers that we didn't catch the draft, but, well, we had a remake and a pretty long gap in between the initial draft and getting this next game underway. Not sure what the issue was, but everybody had to leave the first lobby, and we got it up, but actually it kind of worked out well for us, to be perfectly frank, because, well, we had some connection issues, and I didn't make it into the lobby for the initial draft, and we were casting off the ticket. So sometimes, guys, things just fall into line, and what's normally a negative turns out to be a positive. I am Zyori. I am solo casting for our first Best of 2 series tonight. Then I'll have Slesh joining me for the second 2 BO2s for the remainder of our broadcast here. Let's go ahead and talk about these drafts a little bit and introduce our rosters. On the Radiant side, we've got Team LGD, the favorites coming into this series, 58% to the 42 of HGT. On Dota 2 Lounge, it will be Rabbit on the solo safe lane Doom. In the mid lane, it will be Lin on the solo mid Ember Spirit. And up top, that gives us an aggressive tri-lane DD on the Shadow Demon, DDC on the support Mirana, and they will be supporting none other than Yao on this position 1 Lifestealer. On the Dire side, we've got HGT, formerly Hearts Get Together, and now the Hyper Glory team. XTT on the solo safe lane Darkseer. Kaka on the solo mid Puck up against the Ember Spirit there. And the off lane, it will be another aggressive try. S playing on the Shadow Priest Dazzle. Pretty Hall playing on the support Sand King. And that leaves us with the position 1 ZS MJ. The Z God himself playing a little bit of that Spectre. There will be a smoke already from LGD, DD, and DDC rotating down to the bottom lane. Recognizing that their presence not quite needed up top, Yao should be able to farm pretty well against this Darkseer. They'll come down bottom and will not only try and pressure ZSMJ, but also open up a little bit of space for this Doombringer. Disruption arrow, it's going to be online to get things started. DD in the front lines, he'll find the disruption. DDC lines it up, and it's actually off the mark. He misses the initial arrow. Now a Burrow Strike in onto Rabbit. They'll try and turn it around and find counter kill the other way. That's not going to happen. Pretty Hard takes too many right clicks, and he'll be forced back. LGD still get the better of the exchange, but probably could have been a first blood or at least crippling damage onto that spec had the arrow connected. So a minor misplay to get things started from LGD. But I suppose things could be worse. They could have conceded the bloodlust on, first blood on their own. So at least minimizing losses. Doom 6-1, farming pretty well against spec out of the gate. Kind of interesting to see a position 1 Doom versus a position 1 Spectre, not something we're accustomed to seeing. Most of the Dooms we've seen as of late have either been in the off lane or they've been in that solo mid role. Even the position 4 Doom in the jungle I've seen more commonly than the position 1 Doombringer. We'll see another setup here, disruption, this time arrow. Again off the mark, ZSMJ, quick with the reaction, scoots to the side right away as soon as the disruption breaks. And again, jukes the arrow. LGD back-to-back failed attempts for the first blood. Very unfortunate. And you know, this is kind of an odd defensive tri-lane because Doom doesn't really fit in with these two. You've got great setup that they haven't been able to capitalize on yet, but great setup nonetheless. And, well, Doom just, I mean, yeah, he throws out a shockwave afterwards. Maybe he'll get a couple of right clicks, throw out a Scorched Earth, but all things considered, he doesn't really add to the Wombo combo, doesn't add a huge nuke or stun lock or anything like that. And that's going to make this difficult for LGD. And I'm sure I'm going to transpose those two guys, the G in the middle. Oh, Jesus, my dyslexia. Can't handle it. LGDs, HGDs, too many 3-character just strings in this game. That is one big difference about casting the Eastern scene. The 2 to 3 character names is completely different. Over in the West, everybody's got crazy Admiral Bulldog, Eternal Envy, Crumbling Pieces, and all these long thought out names. Here we've just got singleton characters to work with. Specs farm is pretty decent though, 10-2 against the 11-1 Lifestealer. LGD do have that luxury of having a lot more cores. They basically have a 3-core lineup with this support Mirana that can eventually transition into a carry if this game goes on long enough. So LGD, they've got the obvious late game advantage, but HGT, they're not without late game themselves. Of course, they've got the hard carry Spectre, but the Darkseer does move into the late game pretty darn effectively. That wall of replica comes in handy against these carries once they get super fat, and we'll certainly see him scale pretty well if this game ends up going late, as I feel like it will, just based on the amount of carries and how eager these teams will be to farm. Not a lot of pushing power on either side. Actually, really no pushing power. No Rasta, no Chen, nobody that can knock down towers easily. And without that, that usually means here in the East, you're in for a long game. So seatbelts ready, guys. Buckle yourselves in, because it's going to be a farm fest. Now, in the mid, Kaka is actually doing very well against this Ember Spirit. Ember did go for the Flame Guard build, 1-1-3 at level 5. I really think the Searing Chains build is better against a squishy mid-hero like Puck, especially at level 5 when you have the level 3 chains. It's just ridiculous how much damage it does. That's a level 1 chains right there, and just look how much damage they have, almost enough to finish him off. If that was even a level 2 Searing Chains, that's your first blood right there, and this is where that Flame Guard build really neuters that early damage you can put out. Yeah, you get lane control, yeah, you can nuke down the creeps pretty quickly, but you can't kill heroes, and that most certainly would have been a first blood. A noble effort, though. Nice rotation from Mirana to follow up onto the bolas, and, well, almost stopped Puck from jaunting to the orb. All use Ember before the nerf. Oh, man. Oh, God. I look over at chat for 2 seconds, and the first blood comes out. God damn it. Well, first blood comes out for HGT, and it is the Ember Spirit. Sorry, that's my bad, guys. I tabbed out to make sure my other stream was working all right. That one's on me, but, yeah. First blood, and Puck will secure. Looks like the Ember Spirit just overcommitted, sitting at level 5, so that is unfortunate. Should have been a first blood going the other way, and now HGT will secure it. Down bottom. Rotation into the jungle, and they'll set it up again. There's your disruption. Can they connect with the arrow this time? Well, ZSMJ, he'll intercept it. Burrow Strike onto the Shadow Demon. There's your Grave from Dazzle. Rabbit just trying to hedge his bets here. Once ZSMJ, but he'll be able to dagger into the trees. Doom throws out Shockwave there from the Satyr Tormentor he picked up, but no kill comes out. Spectre walks away, and it will be a 0-for-0 exchange down here in the bottom. Oh, man, between the Dazzle and the Spectral Dagger, Spectre just too hard to lock down. That's where Doom just doesn't synergize with this, but they'll set up the Disruption Arrow once again, this time onto Pretty Haw. No Grave from the Dazzle, doesn't have the cooldown for it, and they will get the kill that time. Shadow Demon gets credit for it, and that'll tie it up 1-1. So LGD finally find a kill with this potent duo. They finally gank something. At the end of the day, it's only a kill on the Sand King. Really need a kill on the Spectre. But it's something. We'll give a little bit of extra gold to Rabbit. And he has become our last hit leader now. 36-5 and up by about 5-6 over the other leading farmers. And they are in the top lane, I should say. XTT on the Darkseer having a good time farming, and same with the Lifestealer. One of these lanes where they can both do damage to one another, but neither one should really be able to secure a kill. Ion Shell is annoying, but nothing that Lifestealer can't handle with his sustain. And, well, Open Wounds is annoying, but nothing that Darkseer can't handle without the Surge. We'll see an Infest Bomb come out, and Darkseer still cleans up most of the creeps there. Regardless, Lifestealer only 3 CS behind him, number 3 overall on the charts, and that puts LGD in a pretty decent position. Glancing at the gold graph, already a 1500 golden experience lead going the way of LGD. Kaka taking pretty heavy damage in the mid lane. Level 4 Flame Guard is now out, but just no kill power for this Ember Spirit. All he can do is farm, and that's actually kind of good for the Puck. They're within relatively even CS. Puck only trailing by about 4 right now. And I would say that's pretty good news for Puck. Pretty lopsided lane in favor of the Ember Spirit. And Puck is lucky he got the first blood. That actually really helps his farm here. So for HGT, they're kind of losing the laning phase. And they don't have the carry advantage. Doom will just go for a fast hand to Midas and had it somewhere around the 7.5 minute mark or so. Went for Brown Boots first, has another 1,000 gold already. Maybe he grabbed it a bit earlier and I just didn't notice. So, early advantage going the way of LGD, and they have the late game advantage. That's usually pretty scary. Disruption, arrow flies. This time it will be off the mark. It was a long-range arrow. Morana really wasn't quite in position. Just a zoning disruption there from DD. One of those kind of close your eyes, hope for the best arrows. And that time just didn't connect. But they should be able to knock down this tower before too long. It's already down to half health. The glyph has come out. They have full rotations. By they, I mean HGT. Spectre has now moved to the top lane. Pretty Haw rotating as well. Puck comes down bottom with the Dazzle, and it'll be Ishkafel who heads to the mid lane. So this is an odd rotation. I thought they would have just stationed Darkseer down bottom, but now they're putting Puck in a duo lane. And Puck is level 8, tied with the Darkseer, the 2 solo heroes, highest on the field for our Dire team. Can't say I'm surprised about that. Puck is pretty decent to try and quell the push of this bottom lane. He does have the creep clear with that illusory orb. I almost said ultimate orb. With that illusory orb. But that won't slow down Rabbit from just farming away. He's basically got this lane to himself. He'll go Arcane Boots straight into mech. So even though Doom has a lot of farm priority here, and he's basically a core for LGD, he will opt for more of a support-based Doom and just go for those early utility items. Get his team a little bit of mana, a little bit of health. It'd be that mobile well. And probably just move into a more aura-based build of Vlad's, you know, maybe into a Shiva's, maybe even an Assault Karas, something like that. Rotation up towards the top lane. Shadow Demon and Mirana on the other side of the tree line. Arrow flies in, connects with ZSMJ. Yao diving the tower. Once the Dazzle will just turn to focus the spec. Hops inside of a creep, and there's another rotation here from the Darkseer. This will be a 4-man rotation from HGT. Pretty Hawk connects with the Burrow Strike. DDC perhaps in some trouble. Yao hops out of the Infest. Disruption onto ZSMJ. Arrow flies, but Mirana will be the first to go down. Now Ember Spirit joining the party. Searing Chains connect on ZSMJ. They'll secure the kill onto Spectre. That's a 1-for-1. Now XTT, he'll surge away. Another port in from HGT. This is a full 5-man rotation. And now LGD will just back out as they create space for Doom. They get that tower. And a 1-for-1. They trade support Mirana for the position 1 Spectre. A great trade for LGD. And of course, they get a tower out of it. That pushes them ahead now by about 4,000 gold, 3,000 experience. And it's not over yet. Shadow Demon still hanging out up top. ZSMJ could still be in some trouble. Open wounds. Disruption comes out. Arrow will be on the money. They'll have plenty of damage to finish him off, and Mirana will be the one to secure the kill with one of those arrows to the face. Meanwhile, in the mid, Kaka getting harassed back by Lin. Again, won't have the killing power, but still taking lane control. And look at that net worth chart. The 3 core laners of LGD floating towards the top, farming the leaders of HGT. Puck gets caught by Searing Chains, has an illusory orb here, but there's a Fire Remnant. Port comes in, and that will quell the efforts of Lin, but Kaka could have been in serious trouble right there. The TP ends up getting canceled, it looks like, but mech up on the Doom. Arrow flies, will connect onto the Sand King. Unfortunately, follow-up won't be there. They won't be able to finish him off. Darkseer will finish off the creeps, but long-range Arrow making his farming efforts rather difficult, and Sand King's farm is a bit lackluster. Has enough for his Arcane Boots now, may opt for just a straight Blink Dagger. 3 points in the Sandstorm, so going for that more greedy farming build probably won't grab that Epicenter till level 7, level 8. Certainly won't get it at level 6. So already a pretty sizable lead for LGD. Off to a great start here. Ember Spirit has just taken this mid lane by driving force. Just about 10 CS up on the Puck, which is pretty sizable. And it's also the Doom and the Lifestealer that are getting out of control with these CS. Midas giving them a huge farming edge. Mech Arcane Boots up with 600 gold in the bank. And meanwhile, the rest of LGD, by the rest, I mean Mirana and Lifestealer, they'll just move top and they finish off that tower. Lifestealer will get credit for the kill. Now Lin stalking down the Sand King. Takes him down to about half health already with just Flame Guard. Connects with Searing Chains, the easiest kill that Lin will find all game. Puts down the Fire Remnant, trying to find the juke here. And it looks like he will. He'll move around the tree line and they'll just give up. They won't even try to pursue. That'll be 4-2 here at the 12-minute mark. And now a rotation from LGD into the mid lane. They may try and set up a kill onto Kaka and then transition this into a tower kill mid. Spectre, oh no, first item, he goes Vanguard. Brown boots into Vanguard, usually not a good sign for the Spectre. Usually a bit of a panic pickup that will allow him to be more active in these team fights, but won't do much in the way of damage output. Kaka uses his orb aggressively. Already used his face ship. He's in big trouble. Nowhere to go. Puck the first to fall. Doom comes out on the Darkseer. He's taking heavy damage as well. Ember Spirit in the front lines. Grave comes out, but as soon as it expires, this Darkseer will fall. It will be a 2-for-0 to get this fight started. Down goes the Ishkafel. They're going to dive to tier 2. Now they see the Dazzle. Grave has already been burned. That'll make it a 3-for-0. Now Spectre, he's hiding in the trees. Has a Spectral Dagger, but already burned his haunt. Can they find a kill on him? No, they won't. The tier 1 tower in the mid will fall handily. Easy 3-for-0 in the mid lane for LGD. And now, Hyper Glory team. they're just crumbling at the seams. LGD won these lanes just too hard, and now their carries are balling out of control. This is the state of the game where they shouldn't be tilted so hard, but look at that. Long-range arrow connects with ZSMJ. An easy kill on the Spectre. Disruption on Pretty Hard to set it up. He'll have a burrow strike, but not enough to keep him alive. Lifestealer chases him down. Easy double kill for Yao. Air just adding insult to injury at this point. Tier 2 tower may start to take some pressure. There's one siege creep keeping it safe, but only so much that Singleton siege creep can do. Again, Puck uses the orb aggressively to try and clear up the wave. If he gets initiated upon, he's got no out. There's no blink dagger. XTT, he gets caught again. Grave buys him some time. As soon as it expired, he takes a spill, and meanwhile, Dazzle gets picked off. He doesn't have the Grave for himself. LGD, it's just non-stop. They've got everybody at full health, decent mana, and they just keep on picking up hero kills. Look at this graph. 12,000 in their favor all of a sudden. 3-0 in tower kills. And this could be a quick game one, ladies and gentlemen. There it is, HGT. They just tap out. GG from ZSMJ. They can't take the heat, so they get out of the kitchen. 14 minutes, 12-2. It was pretty even out of the gate, but then all of a sudden, LGD, the 5-man death ball, it's just too much. I want to say that HGT tapped out a little bit too early, but I don't know that they did. Spectre went Vanguard. They had no damage output. Who was going to pick up the kills? Spectre 0-3-1, Darkseer 0-2-1. Nobody had any time to come online. Nothing but brown boots. At the end, Ishkafel was able to grab a mech, but at that point, it was just too little. LGD looking fierce in our first game of the night here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have game 2 of this best of 2 series, HGT versus LGT. Can HGT redeem themselves and make this a 1-1, or will it be a fast 2-0 for LGD? Only time will tell, but thank you for joining us. A quick game 1, I'm Zyori. Plenty more Dota 2 action coming your way after this break.